Hi guys, welcome back to this clown's garage. In this video I'll show you how to change a strut mount. Now there's a piece of rubber in here, and sometimes when you go over bumps or you're turning, you hear like a crackling noise or popping noise. It could be a strut mount. There's a bearing in here too. So if you turn the wheel, sometimes you hear a crackling noise. It could be the bearing inside the strut mount. And the rubber part also, it could be bad also. One way to check this is you could actually pop the hood open, and while the car is just standing still, push the car up and down and see if you hear a noise in here. If you hear a noise, probably, or you could actually look inside here to see if the rubber is cracked or it's missing or whatever have you. Also, you could have somebody in the car, and while the car is turning back, the wheels are turning, when it's stopped, you could usually put your hand down here and hear a noise inside where the bearing is. Sometimes there's a noise in there too. Also, this video is also useful for those people who want to put aftermarket caster camber plates on top, where it gives you more infinite adjustability. It's also done the same way. Now in this case, the first thing you do is you grab a marker and mark it over here along the side, so you can put it exactly back where you started from. Next thing is you take the shock off on top. This one you need a adjustable wrench on top to hold like the stud, and in my case a 3/4 inch bolt over here. So I use the open end and the ratcheting wrench I have over here just to do that. So that's the first thing to do, is take the shock off. And once you take, another thing you should do is keep a jack underneath where the control arm is to hold it in place, because you're going to take the shock off, and certain cars you need this in place to hold the whole front end up. So be very, very careful. I'm also not responsible if you kill yourself or you kill somebody else doing this. So let's go ahead and change this mount. Over here you have a 13 millimeter nut over here on the stud. So the first thing you do is take these off. And one in the back. Now let me show you also underneath before I take that one out. Let me show you what it looks like underneath. You see this little triangle? That's to hold everything in place from underneath. So once you get these 3 bolts out, this will pop right out. So I know sometimes when you put aftermarket mounts, sometimes you gotta bang it over here with some heat. Heat it up the torch a little bit, then bang it with a hammer for this to actually sit right. So certain cars are different. I know I've done that before, so that's one thing to keep a lookout on. So let me take this last bolt off here. Last nut I mean. So once you take that off, next thing you do is underneath, you see this just slides right off. And make sure you put it back also where this was. So you go on top now. You can take the old one off, like that. And put the new one in, like that. One other thing to note over here, these have left and right, so you can't switch them back and forth. It has to be the exact same one that you're taking out. So this is R, the right side, so we know this one's correct. Now installation is opposite of removal. Put the brace back in. and catch one of the bolts on top. You could use one hand underneath the car, and the other hand tighten it down. There's one in the back. Alright, it might be a better idea to have a 13mm deep socket here, but it doesn't really matter, you don't really need that. It'll be easier, more convenient. Now you line up the marks that you did before on here. You see the red? So I'm just going to put it right on it. I'm going to start tightening this down. Also, don't forget to get a wheel alignment after this. You're done tightening them, also go underneath just to double check everything looks right and it's sitting correctly over here. This brace, so it looks good here. Looks good on top. These are nice and tight. You can also put the cap back on here and now take it for realignment. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. It's free to subscribe just to check the box underneath. Also like me and do whatever you want to me down there. You know, there's plenty of this clown to go around. And toodle. Alright, this is a bad strut mount. You see the rubber in there, it's cracked all along over there. That's a bad strut mount.